as we get ready for Thanksgiving. We're actually doing our Thanksgiving dinner early. We're going to do it on Saturday, the 19th. And anyway, so I'm getting some things ready. I'm starting the brine for the turkey, and we're going to smoke it in the pellet smoker this year again. We did it last year, and I actually do the spatchcock where I cut the, that backbone out and flatten it. It seems to be it's a quicker way to cook it. I think the trick at the end is, turning it up at the right time to actually have the smoker kind of try to crisp up the skin. And, I think that's the trade-off versus just an oven bake. And when you do this style, I've noticed it's a little trickier. Okay, so let me turn this camera around. So the brine, I'm going to do, it's Thursday night, so we're going to cook this up real quick, let it cool. And then we have a brining bucket. We'll put the turkey in. We'll leave the turkey whole. It's a fresh turkey too, and they recommend if you're going to brine to get a fresh turkey. It doesn't have, the injection apparently of the frozen turkeys, and that can be a little saltier, especially if you then brine it because you're adding some salt. So anyway, it's a fresh 16.5-pound turkey. But these are all the ingredients. I'll have the recipe for this and everything I do in the description. But so we'll get the brine going, get the turkey in it tonight, put it in the fridge, and then let it sit in there till Saturday before we cook it. And more to come. So there's the brine with everything in it. As part of the recipe, you do put an additional, a gallon of water in there. And in this size stock pot, of course, that filled it right up. So we'll put the lid on, put the heat on, we'll get a simmer going, probably let it simmer for 15 minutes once it's boiling, and then turn it off, let it sit till it cools, and then we'll get the brining bucket, and get the turkey in there, and if we need to, which we probably will, we'll top it off with some additional water so that the turkey is fully submerged. All right, so we've got the turkey in the brining bucket. Got our brine all poured in, and I topped it off with some cold water to top it off down there. So putting it in the refrigerator for the next couple nights. So we pulled the turkey out of the brine bucket, and basically the first step is for the spatchcock style, is to cut that backbone out. So, good sharp pair of shears is the best way to do it. And, it seems like right back on the backside in here was kind of the tougher spot to get through, I noticed. But just take your time and you'll get through it, but you are cutting through bones. And you just cut on each side of that backbone, and then we'll toss that away. And then we'll make, up in the front cavity where the breastbone is, we'll take a knife and kind of cut that so that we can kind of push down and flatten it a little bit more. And that's just something a lot of people do. Turkeys are definitely harder to, cut through on that backbone than the chickens, as you can imagine, because they're so much bigger. And, this is a 16.5-pound turkey. I'm going to smoke it at 275 on the pellet smoker for 4 hours. And so we'll do some seasoning here, and also spray some olive oil on it. And I'm going to melt some butter and inject it with butter as well. All right, we got this thing sprayed and seasoned up. Time to put it on the smoker. All right, there she is in the old Rectech, and still kind of getting right up to 275 here, so I better get the lid closed. So yeah, things are getting a good color. We might put some foil on this shortly. We're about, about 2.5 hours in, I guess. I'm gonna hit it with a little bit more cooking spray. The olive oil spray here helps golden it up.